Today we are going to discuss a topic on thyristor chopper circuits. In this thyristor chopper circuits, we have to know about what is commutation. What is the need of commutation? The process of turning off SCR is defined as commutation. In all commutation techniques, a reverse voltage is applied across the thyristor during the turn off process. By turning off a thyristor, we bring it from forward conducting to the forward blocking mode. What are the conditions to be satisfied to turn off an SCR? There are two main things. One is either you can bring the anode current less than the holding current, or you can apply the reverse voltage. So the main condition is anode current must be less than holding current. Then the reverse voltage is applied to the SCR for sufficient time, enabling it to recover its blocking state. There are two methods by which a thyristor can be turned off. One is through the natural commutation and through the forced commutation. Whereas in choppers, we are using the forced commutation, because in the natural commutation, the supply voltage, that is AC supply itself, will commutate the thyristor. Whereas in the forced commutation, these forced commutations are applicable at the DC supply, whereas in the DC, there is no possibility of natural commutation. That means there is no possibility of supply voltage to turn off the SCR. We need to give the external commutation. Externally, we need to provide the commutation for an SCR. So let us discuss what is a natural commutation. A natural commutation, in an AC circuit, the current always passes through zero for every half cycle. As AC current passes through natural zero, a reverse voltage will simultaneously appear across the device. This will turn off the device immediately. This process is called as natural commutation, since no external circuit is required for this purpose. This method is only applicable for AC supply. That means this natural commutation is applied only for the AC supply. So we're coming for the forced combination. As we discussed earlier, the chopper in the forced commutation is applied for a chopper. To turn off a thyristor, a forward anode current should be brought to zero for sufficient time to allow the removal of the charge carriers. In case of DC circuits, the forward current should be forced to zero by means of some external circuits. So this process is called as forced commutation. With the DC supply, we use external circuit and active or passive components, whatever R or LC. These are the components to reduce passing currents value below holding current. As the circuit involves into this commutation circuit, as this circuit involves some components like commutating components like active or passive elements, this procedure is called as commutation circuit. And the components used are called as commutating components. And the other method is load commutation. In the load commutation, capacitor C and inductor L are used as a commutating elements. These commutating elements L and C are connected in series with the load resistance if the value of the resistance is low. So let us consider the natural commutation, how the natural commutation works. I'll explain through this circuit diagram and the waveforms. In this circuit diagram, if we observe, the supply is the AC and the thyristor is connected in series with the R. So this is totally series circuit where I need a commutation now. How the commutation works here, let us see what happens when the supply is given. When the supply is given, but I consider the thyristor is not yet triggered I can explain through the waveform. Supply is given at 0, but the thyristor is not yet triggered. So the voltage across the thyristor is maximum and the voltage across the load is 0, since the circuit is open circuit. Then now at alpha angle, if I am triggering my SCR, then the current flows through the circuit. Then the voltage across the SCR will be 0 as it acts as a short circuit, and the load current will flow, that is same as the source current, and the load voltage is equals to the load source voltage. So this continues up to pi, and at exactly at pi, the exactly at pi, the negative half cycle starts. That means at zero, at exactly at omega equal to pi, zero starts. The positive negative half cycle starts. At this negative half cycle, will reverse pass the SCR, and hence the voltage across the SCR is minus Vs. Then the circuit becomes open circuit. As it is becomes open circuit, the no current will flow through the load, so the voltage across the load is zero. So this is the process where the natural commutation occurs in an SCR. Now go for the forced commutation. So what happens in the forced commutation? We learn step by step. So forced commutation is applied to the DC circuit. Forced commutation is achieved by reverse biasing the SCR device or by reducing SCR current below the holding current value. Commutating elements such as inductance and capacitance are used. Forced commutation is applied to choppers and also inverters, because inverter input is also a DC. So there is no concept of natural commutation. So we need to apply the external commutation. So forced commutation is also required in the inverters. So what are the methods we are going through this forced commutation means? One is through the voltage commutation. The other one is through current commutation. What is voltage commutation and current commutation? Let us discuss now. Voltage commutated chopper. It is one of the simplest and the earliest chopper. This chopper is generally used in high power circuit where load fluctuation is not very large. This chopper is also known as parallel capacitor, turn-off chopper, impulse commutated chopper, or classical chopper. So this is a circuit diagram of the voltage commutated chopper, where the commutating circuit is represented in a dotted box. T1 is the main thyristor and the TA is the auxiliary thyristor. The capacitor is the main. What is the use of the capacitor? Let us discuss when I'll explain in the operation when it is what is the importance of this capacitor and why it is called as a voltage commutated chopper. So T1 is the main thyristor, TA is the auxiliary thyristor, diode L and C. Here R, L, C and the diode are the commutating circuit we can call. And here because it involves in the commutation of the main thyristor TA through the auxiliary thyristor TA. Here freewheeling diode is connected across the RLE load. So I'll explain what is the operation of the voltage commutated chopper through the modes. In a mode 1, initially this voltage commutated chopper starts initially where the capacitor is fully charged. How to charge this capacitor is, here the switch is RC and the switch which are connected in series. When the switch is closed, the capacitor starts charging as it applies across the source voltage is applied across the VC and it is charged to maximum, that is VC equals to VS. Now the circuit operation starts with a fully charged capacitor. When the T1 is on, that means when the main thyristor is turned on, now the currents which are flowing through the circuits are the main two currents are flowing through the circuit. One is through the thyristor load and thyristor path that is which is flowing, that is I0. That path is VS plus to T1, T1 to load to VS minus. This is one of the current which is flowing in the circuit, and the other current is flows in an auxiliary circuit. This is the auxiliary circuit which forms by the L and C. So here it flows the capacitor which is charged to maximum value. Now whenever the T1 is on, the charging current flows through the auxiliary circuit, that is from plus C to T1, T1 to L, L to diode. This charging current will powered by this diode and this completes the path. That is the charging current will flow through this circuit until it reaches to minus VS, minus VC, that is fully up to when it is fully discharged, it is going to flow through this circuit. So the current flowing in the thyristor is I0 plus IC. The voltage across the load is V0. I0 is the current flowing through the load, and there is a ID is equals to IC. The charging current is flowing through the diode. In the second mode, this is the interval where T to T1. Now at T1, what happens? This charging current will flow through the circuit until the total capacitive voltage becomes 0. It discharges to minus Vs. Then the charging current will die off. As the charging current is 0, the diode current becomes 0, hence the diode becomes open circuit. And only the one current is flowing in the circuit is I0, that is through thyristor, that is through a supply of Vs, where Vc becomes 0. That means capacitor is totally discharged. That means IC current becomes 0, but Vc becomes minus Vs. In the third mode of operation, here in order to turn off the main thyristor, we are using the auxiliary thyristor. As soon as we have turn on the thyristor, auxiliary thyristor TA, then the opposite polarities of the reverse bias of the capacitor will reverse bias the thyristor T1, and then the thyristor T1 will turn off. Now the capacitive current starts, the capacitor starts charging. The main current I0 flows through the TA. Only the one current is flowing through the circuit is TA, that is Vs plus to TA, TA to load, load to Vs minus. In this mode of operation, where auxiliary thyristor is on, the capacitor starts charging. Once it has been charged, it doesn't allow the current to flow through it. Hence the polarities will be changed. Now plus becomes minus, minus becomes plus. That means it has been fully charged to positive Vs. Then the voltage across the Vc is Vs, not minus Vs, but it appears as positive Vs. As this reverse bias is the thyristor TA. The polarities of the capacitor will reverse bias the TA. Hence there is a commutation of the TA. So the circuit current is now the Vs, whatever the supply voltage, voltage Vs now doesn't, now it is not connected to the circuit. There is no source current which is flowing through the circuit because all the thyristor T1 and TA and the diode all are off. Now here the load is, my load is RL load. So when the source voltage is 0, now the load starts discharging. L load, which is the inductor present in the load, it starts now discharging, and the discharging current flows through the freewheeling diode. This is the path I0 which is flowing through the freewheeling diode. The voltage across the load will be 0 as the freewheeling diode is parallel across the load. Hence the freewheeling diode is conducting. The voltage across the freewheeling diode is 0 as it acts as a short circuit. Hence I0 is negative and V0 is 0. I can explain here in the waveforms. When initially the capacitor is charged, starts discharging in the mode on when the T1 is on. At mode 1 at up to T1, time means time period, the capacitor is now starts discharging. When the chopper is on, it discharges from positive Vc to negative Vc. As it is discharging, the current, when it is maximum, the current is 0, charging current is 0. When it is 0, it is maximum. And when it becomes minus Vs, the current becomes 0. And when chopper is on, the thyristor current flows and it becomes maximum IT1. Here IT is the current flow when our chopper is on. There are the two currents which are flowing in the chopper. One is through the source supply, other one is the capacitive current. So the magnitude of the IT1 will be higher. During the mode 2, T1, diode is off and here TA is on. When the TA is on, the chopper becomes 0. Then the voltage across the chopper is maximum. So what are the disadvantages? The voltage commutated chopper is simple. It has therefore been used extensively. It, however, suffers from flowing disadvantages. A starting current is required to charge the capacitor. The load voltage at once rises to Vs. At the instant commutation of the main SCR is initiated, freewheeling diode is therefore subjected to twice the supply voltage. This chopper cannot work on no load. This is because at no load, capacitor would not get charged from the minus Vs to positive Vs when auxiliary thyristor is triggered for commutation of the main thyristor. These are the disadvantage of this method, voltage commutated chopper.